Hello, all my Malcolm people, and welcome to another MACultureM Podcast. Where here we discuss everything from intense social topics to funny social trends. We are your hosts, Mark Jonathan.
G.
And as always, we have a wonderful podcast for you all today. But before we get started, if we can have our brief disclaimer.
So y'all know here on the MACultureM Podcast, we cover all Black social trends from injustice to news and trends and all the things that's going on in the world. And so sometimes the things we talk about can be a little controversy. And all we ask is that if something said here makes you feel some type of way, before you go jumping down our throats, think about why you felt some type of way and then hit us up and we could talk about it. But with that being said, check in with me. How you doing, Mark?
Man, as always, I'm doing all right. Can't complain. My grandma flies in a little later today. So I'm celebrating Mother's Day with her while she's in Denver. You know, she's from Florida, boy, so she like to come see the mountains, all of that stuff. So we got an exciting week ahead of us today. But how about yourself?
I'm feeling good. Just blessed to be able to, live another day and push and grind. So you feel me? I'm good.
I feel that. So with that being said, we hope for all those who are tuning in with us, this will be our new time schedule. So hopefully you all enjoy the evening episodes. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. And just going right down the list. I forgot to put up all these things. Hold on, give me 1 second. Just
that's okay.
Disclaimer. Check in.
We're
gonna go ahead and do our thing. So we do have more unknown injustice. All right. So, boom. The reason I titled this is because there's a lot of things that go on within I'll just say country, the United States, that we don't know about as far as injustice goes. You feel me? And what this video really gets into is some of that unknown injustice. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Hearing about this, man, this was crazy. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and let the video explain. Let me exit this out. All right. So boom.
Help, get me on Lawyer Talk. Just please help me.
What's crazy is no one's even talking about this story. So two brothers, Harold and Anthony, in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, they're at a restaurant. They hear someone yelling racial slurs as they're driving away. Then someone throws something that strikes their car. It's a company vehicle, so the driver gets out to see if there's any damage. And while he does, the person who's yelling at them draws a firearm and starts shooting at them. Bullet grazes Anthony in the groin. Harold dives into the car, grabs his own firearm, returns fire, and hits the man in the buttocks. Police arrive and everyone is arrested. The man who shot at them is on parole for murder and got his gun from a crackhead, so he escapes from the hospital and is still on the run. The two brothers are then charged with attempted murder. Bear in mind, only one of them fired the gun, and it was in self-defense. They get public defenders who advise them to take a plea deal that will result in 10 years in prison each. 10 years in prison for defending themselves from a racist murderer. No one cares because it's just a couple of black kids, so 10 years shouldn't be that bad. There's no rich people on death row because they could afford a real attorney. These kids don't deserve to have their lives ruined because they can't. They need help.
So boom. Just off of that, a lot of amazing points already presented. First of which, both brothers are being charged with attempted murder, even though one shot back in self-defense. Right? That's probably the first and biggest point. First off, what you think about that just off the rip?
That fact alone, just shows the justice system. It's like they gonna try to get they gonna try to hurt us as much as they can. Whatever they gotta do it, they gonna try to hurt us as much as they can. And as long as the law allows them to, they're going to. They're not gonna stop at anything to do it. Mark, I cannot hear you.
My fault, I forgot I muted myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you basically, and the guy he hit it the nail on the head, man. It's crazy to think that this dude who was already charged for, I believe, like having crack, whatever the case may be, he escapes the hospital. They know that the dude was shouting racial slurs, but still get charged with attempted murder. Like, that's just crazy to even think about.
It is,
Man, but the second point I like to bring up from that is how his death row comment. So he mentioned how nobody rich is on death row.
Nobody rich is on death row because they have the money to buy their murder charges. I'm not saying the goal, one of the goals of financial freedom for me personally is to be wealthy enough, stacked enough, breaded enough to buy a murder charge. Not saying that murder is the goal, but shit happens. Shit happens. You feel me? Like in this case, it's a self-defense case. Rich people get away with murder because they have the money to buy the proper lawyers.
Exactly.
And like he said, these kids' lives shouldn't be ruined because they don't have the money to buy the proper lawyers. When you get in they read you your Miranda rights and they say that part, you have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. The one that is appointed to you does not give a damn about your best interests at heart. Their job is to get you to agree to a plea deal. That's their job. They want you to plead guilty to something so that you are now owned by the state. Their job is not to get you off and make you innocent. And it's crazy. There's the show on Netflix called 7 Seconds. I can't think of the stars, but I think it's with the chick from Scandal. I can't think of her name right now, but it's a really good show. And she's a attorney or a public defender, and she's dealing with these cases, and she's realizing that, you feel me, she needs to be fighting for these people. Like, she knows that it's her job to get people to take plea deals, but it don't sit right with her, and she kind of flips it and changes the game. And a lot of people in the law, the enforcement, whatever, the lawyers with her don't agree with her on doing this. They're like, you're doing too much. Just get them to take the plea deal and go on about your day. Move on to the next case. But in her heart, she's like, this shit ain't right.
Right.
These are people's lives. They play with our lives. They play with our very existence by even doing this to us.
Man. And not only that, but like, along with them trying to get us to take a plea, it also looks good on their record because it's still considered a W. You feel me? If you weigh out what the max that they can get and then them taking a plea, which is just a deal for a short amount of time, whatever the case may be, that's seen as a W in their book. So not only are they trying to, like what G said, basically get us in the system, but they're also trying to get that W per se, even though the road
they're trying to hit their numbers. Yeah,
Absolutely.
They're trying to hit their numbers. They have a certain number that they have to hit, and they have to try to get as many people to just take a plea deal. Like, shit, whatever, take that. That's how they look at it. That's how attorneys really talk to people. Like, it's just, you feel me? Just take this plea deal. You rather have this plea deal, or would you rather, face possibly having to go to jail and fighting this many years, or how probably never getting out, or whatever. They always try to make it seem like the worst outcome is really the worst outcome. But I don't know, for me it's like God is the ultimate judge. If it's more than 25
years, I'm taking it to trial.
Yeah, like
if my plea is more than 25, I'm taking it to trial.
And it's like, I think a lot of times, like, they want us to be so weak in not wanting to fight. Like, they hate the people that want to fight it. Like, why do you? Because, well, it costs money. One, it costs the courts money to go to trial and fight it. And two, it's just like, to them, it's like, why do you have to be difficult? Like, you could have just took the plea deal. They don't want us to fight for our lives. They don't want us to fight for ourselves. They want us to just be like, oh, well, fuck it. Just take this plea deal. Excuse my language, guys. Take this plea deal. And, just go on about your life. You take this plea deal, you only have to do this. You'll only have to do this, and you'll be able to move on with your life. When that's not the case, you take that plea deal, you are now property of of the state, whatever state it is you're in. You're property of the American government at that point.
And they will treat you accordingly.
And they will treat you accordingly.
Exactly. But moving on down the line, we have, and maybe I might mispronounce this, but salutatorian.
Salutatorian.
Salutatorian. Okay, whatever the case. All right, yeah, that, right? Stolen, right? So we're going to go ahead and jump into this podcast, but G brought this to my attention. You want to just speak on it before I jump into it, or?
It's just, a young lady who deserved to be the salutatorian. Oh, baby, don't fall off the bed. Of her school, she didn't get it, and a white student got it above her, but she was the better student. She had the accolades for the position. So I'm going to read the post first. A black student at a Mississippi high school says she wasn't named student salutatorian despite having a higher grade point average than the white student selected. The school district was only desegregated in 2017. She told Washington Post it cost her a scholarship, so she's suing. Let me go back up, go click on the link. Before we get to that, so tell me, just from that post, Mark, how you feeling?
I mean, nothing new.
Nothing new.
I know that's real short and to the point, but yeah, nothing new. Sad to hear. And this post is from 2019, so like this is definitely something that we should have. I don't know if she just decided to not. There's no way she just decided to sue. But yeah, so jump into this article. So I already skimmed it a little. I should have made notes on where the important parts were. But a black high school graduate from Cleveland, Mississippi, is suing her alma mater, school district, claiming officials did not award her the title of salutatorian because of her race. Instead, gave the honor to a white student who had lower scores. So these quality points right here. So in the suit filed last week in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Mississippi, former Cleveland Central High student or school student, Alicia. If that says Alicia, that's an awesome way to spell that. James alleges that 2 weeks before the school's inaugural graduation, in May 2018, she learned that school officials had lowered her grade point average by reducing the quality points she earned with courses at a former school. Wow. So I believe they're just gonna get into what G spoke about earlier in the post.
Yeah, just a little more detailed.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. All right. So James said that she and the members of her family met with the school district, officials about her quality points, and were told by the school's principal, Dr. Randy Grierson, that the low scores were incorrect and suggested that the family take the issue up with the district superintendent, Dr. Jacqueline Thigpen. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it seems like they're just receiving a whole lot of runaround with this.
Absolutely.
She stole it. I mean, but it's not really the white person's fault or the white student's fault. It's more so
it's
whoever's in charge of whoever's in charge of handing out those awards.
And absolutely a race thing. You can't tell me it's not. You just can't tell me it's not. With the main fact of being that the school was desegregated in 2017. I didn't even know that there were still schools desegregated. If I would have known that, definitely would have changed perspective a little bit. I graduated in 2017, and so it definitely just, had I known something like that in high school, it definitely would have changed the fight a little bit, because why do we still have segregated schools?
Right.
So, but the fact of it being alone. This the article was in 2019. The school was desegregated in 2017. It means it was only desegregated for 2 years. They definitely still have racist officials within that school. I'm guaranteed, like I'll bet on it. I'll bet on it that they do, and that I'm sure whoever the superintendent of the school district, because you have to think if it trickles down all the way from the top, the head of the school district. And then it goes down into who's like the principal and the other faculty members within the actual school. But sorry to Alicia, you feel me? It happens to us all the time. And you feel me? We deserve our accolades. I understand her being upset. You deserve your accolades. We work our asses off in school when we're in school. Especially if you had a mama like mine. You feel me? You definitely pushed in school. And then just as Black people in general, we have to work 2 times harder, and as Black women we have to work 3 times harder. So it's I feel her pain.
Right, but more unknown injustice. Just period, point blank. Next we have Mr. Quinton Jones, a death row victim. Tap in with us, G. What is this about?
So I just seen this. It pops up when I go to open a new tab, and then it gives you a suggestion of like news things or whatever. So I seen this, and it's interesting to me. This man, Quinton Jones, he killed his auntie back in 1999 and has been in prison ever since. And so right now he's really just pleading for his life, asking the governor to spare him, give him a second chance. He did the crime. Admitted to doing the crime, but he said that he's had a change of heart, and he's remorseful, and he really has changed throughout his time in prison, and has witnesses to back him on that, including his great aunt, who's the sister of the aunt that he killed. So we gotta watch the video because the little piece of article don't tell us too much.
Next week is pleading with Governor Greg Abbott to spare his life. Quinton Jones was convicted of killing his great aunt back in 1999 when he was just 20 years old. His supporters say that Jones has turned.
You could fast forward a little bit.
And is remorseful. Omar V.
Quinton Jones is set to be executed on May 19th. With the help of the New York Times, he made this video asking Texas Governor Greg Abbott to grant him clemency, which would stop his execution but keep him behind bars.
How is the person you are now different from the person you were when you got on death row 21 years ago?
More thoughtful. Love yourself more.
Jones does not deny that in 1999, he brutally killed his great aunt, Berthena Bryant, for $30 to buy drugs.
He had an unimaginably difficult childhood, addiction and neglect. He said to me, that his childhood didn't excuse what he did.
Writer Suleika Jawad wrote an opinion article this week advocating for Jones's clemency because she says he's transformed his life. For the last decade, she's been his pen pal and says he helped her get through cancer treatment.
What in those letters or in that interaction has changed your mind that he has changed?
I've had the privilege of witnessing his compassion, his thoughtfulness, and I'm not the only one. He's had many other pen pals around the world, and has had a huge impact on their lives as well.
Have you forgiven Quinton?
I have forgiven him. I love him very much.
Jones's great aunt, Maddie Long, is the sister of his victim. She and her
you could cut it. So basically, he has just been pleading with the Texas governor, to spare his life and give him a second chance. He's asking for clemency, which, like the video said, will grant him to be removed off of the death row, but he will still spend the remainder of his life in prison. The thing is that Texas is one of the biggest states for death row. And right now, in executions right now, there are 5 people on death row for this year of 2021, and 4 of them are in Texas.
Man, I mean, at the surface, because I don't know, though, like, got your explanation, heard the video. I definitely feel like there's a little more to the story. But, as far as him asking for clemency, is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I'm cool with that. It's just the whole idea about killing your great aunt over $30.
Yeah, see, and
That just don't sit well with me.
it doesn't, and
But
that's
he
why
doesn't deserve to have his life taken, though. I
take
do come
it.
to.
And it was what, 20 years ago. The person he was 20 years ago, definitely not the person I'm sure he seems to be now. And then for his, great aunt, the sister of the aunt that he killed, to forgive him, it just shows that he is remorseful. Drugs really cloud your better judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs cloud your better judgment. And so at the time it was only about them drugs. I'm trying to get high. Why are you holding $30 from me? And I'm trying to get high. He probably couldn't see the value in his aunt trying to keep him off of those drugs. And so being in jail for 20 years, you've been sober. You've had time to think and recount and relive that moment. To me, someone who's remorseful in the murder that they've done and they're spending time in jail for it, you really have nothing but time to relive that day over and over and over and recount that what got you to where you are. And some people really do end up remorseful from that, because that's all you have to do is think about that. Like, damn, I killed my aunt behind some drugs.
Like $30
for $30.
Like man.
So to live with that, to me, is punishment enough. He shouldn't have to die, to have to live with the thought of knowing that, the fact of knowing that, is punishment enough. You should feel bad. You should feel pretty bad about yourself that you killed your aunt for some drugs, $30 worth of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But to die behind that, you don't deserve. Absolutely not.
You feel me? Yeah, I mean, it definitely don't sit well with me. Mm-mm. But I think I can firmly say he doesn't deserve to die. But that's, not my decision to make. But moving on to the discussion. And the question is, and I also have a few things to show, would you get vaccinated for a chance at $1 million? All right, so before we answer, I got two things to pull up. The first of which is the POTUS president of the United States. So he says the rule is now simple: get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do. The choice is yours.
Something a dictator would say.
Right. But just a few hours ago, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, announced that they are no longer recommending that fully vaccinated people need to wear their mask, whether inside or outside. That's the first thing. And then the reason why I ask is this post right here. So Ohio governor announces any adult who gets vaccinated will automatically be entered in a statewide $1 million lottery. Which brings me to my question. Would you get vaccinated for a chance at $1 million?
No. I'm not.
Okay.
I honestly don't care. You feel me? Like, how much money is behind it. You cannot pay me enough to be a guinea pig for America. You can't. You cannot pay me enough to be a guinea pig for America. How do you guys have a vaccine for something that you don't even know what it is? So that does not sit right with me. And then the fact that they wanted Black people to get vaccinated first. Why are you guys testing our melanated genes first? You feel me? Y'all know we're special. We're very special. So y'all want to test us first. And then you think back to all the things that they tested us with: syphilis. I refuse. I don't care how much money is behind it. I refuse to be a guinea pig for America. And then it's a chance to win $1 million. You mean it's not guaranteed? It means that I am gonna get for $1 million put in a chance with 1 million other people.
Right.
So this is like and there's billions of people in the world. Actually, population has increases for a chance to be one out of 100 million people, a billion people, to win $1 million. I'm sorry. Now maybe if you put 1 billion behind that, because 1 billion don't compare to 1 million. And you know, I might change my mind for $1 billion. For $1 billion, I might think about it. I have to do some heavy talking to God about that one for $1 billion. But for $1 million, nope. I'm not.
Man. But if the
what
prize
about you?
pool, if the prize pool was $1 billion, you could dang near give everybody who get vaccinated some bread. But to answer the question, I mean. I'm cool, because if they were to do the state of Colorado, the chances of me getting that $1 million is like so slim to none. Like, it's not even. And I'm just against vaccinations as they are. Like,
period. I don't even get the flu shot.
So yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting way to get people vaccinated, but I just don't know if I'd risk my health. And what I believe, you know, just simply for $1 million. Like,
my intelligence? I'm not gonna risk my health.
If it was $1 billion, I would like G think about it, but at that point I'd be like, you know, break me off some bread to get vaccinated, and you know,
break me off some bread to get vaccinated. I do like how they're doing the McDonald's in Florida and pay me to come get vaccinated. And if the dollar's right, I need to see the money first.
Okay, so different question.
Okay.
How much would you get vaccinated for?
How much would I get vaccinated for? Like, it's in the billions, you know, like $5 billion. You know, I'm not. Yeah, you got to pay me billions to get vaccinated, to be a guinea pig for America, to where it's going to risk my health, and I'm putting my intelligence to the test because I know better. Because when you know better, you're supposed to do better. It's one thing when you don't know no better, but when you know better, you do better. I know better. That's why I haven't got vaccinated, and I don't believe in the vaccinations. But you feel me? So to risk both of those things, you need to pay me bank. I need to be able to leave an inheritance for my children's children. I need to make sure that they're straight for the rest of forever, that they will never have to want for anything ever again in life. It will have to be billions, because what if I die from the vaccine?
Right.
You know, like what if it really takes a toll on my health, and it really messes with me? And then y'all gonna turn around and try, and then I'm sure, you feel me, because it's $1 million and the government always has to have a piece of anything. They're gonna take a portion. They're going to take a portion. Period. Off rip. They're gonna take theirs. They're gonna take, even though they're giving it to you, they're gonna take their tax portion. Period. So it would have to be in the billions, because there's no absolute way on heaven, earth, or hell that I would put my health at risk for America. America don't care about us.
Okay. Now see, I ain't gonna lie. You give me $1 million, I'm in that line. I ain't even gonna hold you. My parents is getting older. I'm trying to make it so they don't have to want, need, or for any of that. And I feel like I could flip a hefty amount of that $1 million.
You can. You absolutely can. You can absolutely, but you gotta live to flip it.
Oh, absolutely.
You gotta live to flip it, and that's the thing. Like,
that's
I know
the biggest risk for sure.
Yeah, that's the biggest risk.
So you're telling me. But listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
You're telling me they just drop $1 million cash. Don't take nothing off the top. They drop $1 million cash right in front of you, and they got all the needles right there. You telling me you ain't taking that shot?
I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna tell him I'm allergic to needles. Like, go ahead and drop the cat, and then I'm gonna tell him I'm allergic to needles. I gotta find another way. Is it a drink I can take? Turn into a liquid.
Hey,
Turn it into a liquid.
Way.
Oh,
it's the only
man.
way. What you doing?
I'd have to pray. I would have to for real hear from God because my first thought always is to try to find a way to the loopholes. I always want to try to find the loopholes, you know. So y'all drop that mail in my lap, tell me you're not taking nothing off. All I gotta do is get vaccinated. I'm go ahead and drop the mail. I'm gonna try to find a loophole. Like, you feel me? Now that, like, I would be trying to bargain with the doctors and some. So can we just say, y'all get me? Because if I break you off, I'm gonna break you off. And y'all could just say that y'all gave me the vaccine, and I'm gonna say I'm vaccinated, and then, you feel me, y'all with the second shot, I'll just pretend like I'm having the symptoms, you know, because everybody I know who's got that second shot has had symptoms, whether they've had to go to the emergency room or not. They've still carried symptoms from the second shot. The first shot, or I think it's the first shot. The first shot, people have the symptoms. One of them
You can still carry COVID, like.
And you can still carry COVID. That's what I'm saying. Vaccines usually have a piece of the disease or whatever within it when they give it to people. How do you guys have COVID in the vaccine when y'all don't know what COVID is? That's what's getting me. That's the whole thing that's getting me. How do you guys have a vaccine for something that you don't even know what it is? You can't pinpoint where it comes from. You don't know if it's man-made or airborne, which I'm convinced that it's man-made because of all the things that they're doing for it. I'm definitely convinced it's man-made. But you know, we can get into our conspiracy theories a little later. The thing is, though, it boggles my mind that the world has a vaccine for something that they are not sure what it is, when all other vaccines, they have a piece of the disease inside of it for the vaccine to work properly. So that's just weird to me. It's very weird.
Man, but I'm gonna just make it plain and simple. You put $1 million cash in front of me, you can go ahead and load up that needle, doc. Ain't gonna lie.
I don't have old parents. You feel me? I don't have old parents. It's you feel me? It's up to my dad's other kids on what they're gonna do with him. My mom has a 2-year-old and a 12-year-old. You know, so I make smart business investments or whatever. So I would definitely make sure I hook whoever takes the meal up, like you feel me, with a business. And I'm a great silent partner that's not silent all the time. But we can definitely get into some business, and you feel me, I can help you flip that meal for sure. But I don't know if I would. I'm gonna be honest. Like, and the thing is, I'm saying that now, but you feel me, I've never seen $1 million.
Not in cash.
Not in cash. So, you know, my mind might change. My mind might change at the sight of seeing it. But you feel me, in morality right now, without seeing the money in my face, I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to the big guy and hear from him.
It would just take me once to just flip through a stack, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Because you really, especially like it's per se, if the government didn't take anything off top or whatever, you can take $500K and flip that, and then still and then keep your other $500K, you feel me, and do as you need to do with that. But you can flip $500K. You can't even take $100K and flip it. The thing is with that, you know how many houses I would buy the hood back? I would buy the hood back in a quick heartbeat. Like in a blink of an eye, I would be buying the hood back.
Definitely jump on some real estate. But that will conclude us for today's podcast. We hope you enjoyed today. But I'll take this time to invite you all to like all of our social media pages. We got Make a Chess Move, Make a Culture Move, our virtual artist storytelling. Check out our YouTube at MACultureM Check out our website at www.makeachessmove.org, which holds our workshops at MACultureM Workshops. And then check out our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. It's all MACultureM303. With that being said, y'all MACultureM out there. Cop some MACultureM merchandise.